First of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from a little place called Burlamac, which is up in the corner of Val d'Or, Quebec, and it is among the Cree. And my father spoke what I thought was French, and my mother spoke English. So I had the French around me. I learned, I would say, a fair amount of the French just being there, you know. And but I did go to an English school while I was in Quebec, and so it was when I moved to Port Credit, and I was about just approaching being a teenager, and I went to a French class at high school, and the teacher asked the class, "How do you say sit down?" So I said very confidently, "Assis-toi." And she said, "No." I said, "Yes." And so I thought, this lady sure doesn't know very much about French. But it wasn't until I started, you know, examining a bit more, like my father would say for mosquito, for example. I say, "How do you say mosquito?" And he'd say Gwen. And so I was sure that a mosquito was a Gwen. I found out that in French it's a mosquito. And so I found out that my dad, even though he really didn't pass along anything about our Métis heritage, and I understand now why, but I didn't realize that the little bits of French that he was teaching me to be helpful at school was in fact Michif. So it was kind of funny. And so it's been really pleasurable for me to look into the language just to be able to share what I can with you today. I found out that the Michif language, as we speak it, is it's a mix of Cree and it's a mix of French. And when a voyageur, courrier de bois, would marry a woman, he would speak, of course, French, and she would speak most often Cree. And then they'd have their little baby, and it would start getting to that place where they would ask questions, and the nouns were given pretty much by the French, and the verbs from the Cree. So I did find this really interesting. I found out that there's different kinds of Michif. That there would be, you know, the Manitoba Michif from the Saulteaux, which I found out is actually from the Scottish. But we here, we speak the, my husband was happy to hear that because we're Lindsays. And so he was so happy to hear that his people were influential in our language. But my background is the French and the Cree. And I found out that there are some words that are very similar in the Michif to the French. For example, I would say je m'appelle. In Michif, it sounds the same, je m'appelle. But I also found that we have, my little note there, the Shinakashon. The Shinakashon means my name is. And there's several words here. And actually, I'm glad that you're going to be able to put them into this. What I did was I took some common phrases and I put them into a little song because that's how I learn. And so I'm going to go through these words and then I'm going to teach you a little song. And so words like kanchi. And I think a lot of you have heard kanchi for hello. Bonjour, very much like our bonjour in français, but it's bonjour. It's spelled a little bit differently. And the Michif language is not a written language. It is they just spell it the way that it sounds. So that's kind of nice for people that aren't good at languages because I don't know how you can make a mistake. And so that's a bonus. So kanchi, bonjour. So we're going to go through that for hello. Kanchi kia, hello, how are you? Kanchi kia. Nimiyuyan, I am fine. Nimiyuyan. I put this little phrase into our little song, c'est correct, merci, okay, thanks. And that's something that we would say. If we were to respond, fine, how about you? It would be, je ben, kiamaka, je ben, kiamaka. So you can see that there's the similarities to the French, but it's pronounced just a little bit different. Je ben, kiamaka. So it's very similar. Nimiyu tayen, I'm happy. Nimiyu tayen, I'm happy. I put down the phrase, fine, how about you? Je ben, kiamaka. Oh yeah, I did that one. And then mitun, I think I did this one wrong. Mitunini, yan, I feel great. Mitunia, mitunini. Oh yeah, I feel great. So, and then I'll go over some of the more common words for family and parents. A lot of them sound just like the French, but it's spelled very differently. So unless we get to mushum, I think a lot of you might recognize the word mushum for my grandfather, nukum for my grandmother. So anyway, it is a very interesting language. So do you have the words there for people to look at? Is that there? Okay, here's my little thing. And we'll do it a couple of times so that you have a chance. Okay, to put some of this together. Just like this. Tashi, tashi, tashi. Bonjour, tashi, bonjour. Can you speak English? I'll try again. Tashi, bonjour, tashi, bonjour. Hello, hello. Tashi, bonjour, tashi, bonjour. Hello, hello. Shikia, nimiya. Tashikia, nimiya. Tashikia, nimiya. Zimara, masi. Jibekia, jibekia. Last one out for I feel great. Mitunani mia ayan. Tashi, bonjour, tashi, bonjour. Hello, hello. Tashi, tashi, bonjour, bonjour. Hello, hello. Tashi, kia, nimiu ayan. Tashi, kia, nimiu ayan. Tashi, kia, nimiu ayan. It's an easier way to learn music when you can, you know, sing to it. That's what I find anyway. So I just, I'm hoping I'm saying it all correctly, but I think I'm pretty close. So you can see the similarity, like I am fine, like you know, in French we said bien, but je bien, kiamaka, nimiyutean, I'm happy, nimiyutayan, je bien, kiamaka, fine, how about you? I feel great. So it's kind of neat. It's an interesting language. So I thought that some of the words that we would be most familiar with, and they very often sound like the French for the word family, famille, parents, and it's spelled like a pair, parent, and I'm sure they say it like the French parent. Mother, maman, father, papa, grandparents, grand-parents, grandfather, mushum, grandmother, mukum. So it's apparently there's only, you know, at the very max, maybe 1,000 people that speak the Michif language from, and that's going out west and then into Ontario. And they say maybe as little as hundreds. So there's not very many people. And so I'm looking forward to seeing our language brought back. You know, it's such an interesting language. It was basically formed primarily, I guess, in the 1800s. And at one point, like in the 1870s, they said the biggest group in Manitoba spoke Michif. So that would be out of the Red River settlement. So that's basically it, because I don't think we could learn any more words than that at one time. But it's a wonderful heritage, and I look forward to bringing it back. So so much has been lost, and this is something that I would love to see brought back. Can you imagine? So I'm going to try that song again, and then my little presentation is complete for today. I don't think we can learn any more languages, any more words. Were you able to follow along any of those words? Try singing. That's how I learn everything. Even my hunter safety, I put every duck has a song to it. That's me. Tashi, bonjour, tashi, bonjour, hello, hello. Tashi, bonjour, tashi, bonjour, hello, hello. Tashi, kia, mimia, tashi, kia, mimia, tashi, kia, mimia, That turns it into fun. We'll have to get Alicia out with And Kelly gets it with their fiddles. It's in the key of D. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Gwen. We really appreciate it. And thank you for being patient with the technical difficulties too. And always turning it into fun too. We really appreciate it.
I know, I always say that if it's worth saying once, it's worth saying twice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now, like we always do, we're going to open the floor to any questions to any folks who are kind of having some difficulties as they move along with their fiddles. We have Kelly and Alicia here with us. And yeah, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump forward, or if you'd like to show us how you're doing and play something for us, that'd be great too. If you're feeling confident enough. Oh, it's a quiet Monday. Oh, Malcolm, do you want to try and play for everyone? Of course you can.
Okay. Wait, just. Okay. Wait up.
That was awesome. And your glasses really tied it all in. You look like a rock star. Thank you so much. Nancy, you have a question?
Yes, I had a strange experience. The post on the inside popped loose, and I went to try and with tweezers to put it back in, and I couldn't. I got worried about it, and I just took it to Long and McQuaid, and they did it in a second and a half. Special tool. Is that a common thing to happen?
So it's not a super common thing to happen. It's always a bit scary when it does, because there's no way you can replace it, but put it back into place without that special tool. So I'm glad you took it in. It tends to happen if you remove all of the strings. So that's why when we were talking about if you ever need to change a string or replace a string, make sure that you leave all the other ones off. So you just do one at a time. So I'm not sure if that was the case for you, if you might have removed any of the strings, or maybe they were weirdly loose, but it could have been just a strange occurrence. Maybe the temperature change or something like that happened with the wood. And so maybe the wood expanded or contracted more than usual, and it just got loose in there. But you did the right thing for sure.
Well, it scared me at first, but it was only $16. So I thought, oh, well, that's not so bad. I thought they had to take the whole thing apart and glue it back together.
Oh, I'm glad it wasn't too expensive. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an expensive fix. They just have to use their tool. So I'm glad to hear that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Nancy. I see in the chat here we have Tammy, who can play a little bit that she's learned so far. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Tammy. You're getting great sound.
Thank you.
I can tell Tammy's been practicing. Good stuff.
And oh, we have lots of brave folks tonight. That's amazing. I have Claire here that can play the little mix that she made.
She just doesn't want to be on camera. Is that okay?
Well, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome, Claire. It's very funky. That's great. Good work.
Thank you.
And I think I seen, Erica, your daughter Ruth. This is her older sister's song. Great job, Ruth. That was great. Oh, Marcus, you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I play it too?
Of course you can.
Okay.
That was amazing. I love it. All the young ones are showing up all the adults. It's great. And does anybody want to give any feedback on how they're moving along? Has anybody completely finished their sort of sessions and are trying the other sessions like group A and group B? Oh, Nancy?
I didn't realize, I took all of Kelly's classes.
That's
It
okay.
took a while to realize, oh, I'm actually older than I. So I actually have benefited greatly going from, Kelly's classes to Alicia's classes. It's, I feel like I've got a kind of a more well-rounded education.
Oh, great.
So thank you. And I would recommend it for anyone. It was quite fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Just sort of reading this in the chat from Anna. That is a possibility. Maybe I can connect you with Alicia and see if we can get that figured out, and maybe you guys can work something out between the two of you. For Anna's question. And Marcus, you have your hand up?
No, I just don't know how to get it off.
That's okay. I think I can do it for you. There we go. So I know tonight is a little bit of a slower Monday, coming back from the weekend, and it's getting darker soon, and folks are getting a little bit tired. And I know it's dinner time too, so I really want to appreciate, just extend my thank yous and appreciation for everyone coming out and making these sessions with us. In my email, I did address that these would be recorded, and I think you can all see the screen saying recording. So this will be posted on the YouTube channel as well. And I just want to leave it open for a few more minutes if anybody would have the confidence to play and show us what they've learned so far, or any last minute questions, but I don't want to take up too much of your time if everybody's kind of ready to go.
I just want to suggest that there's no harm in repeating. So if you make your way through all of my lessons or all of Kelly's or both of our lessons, I think you should watch both of the lessons if you want, different perspectives, different teaching styles, whatever. Maybe one way that I'm explaining it, you're not understanding it. Go check out Kelly's and see how she, teaches you how to hold the bow, kind of thing. So there's no harm in doing both. They're available for you. So yeah, there's no harm in doing that. And there's no harm in repeating things. Especially some of those early beginner videos where, we're talking about a lot of information all at once. And when you were a new beginner all at once, you might not have caught every little tidbit of information that we shared with you. So yeah, I would highly recommend to do both, Kelly and mine, as well as to rewatch as much as possible, because you're going to pick up something different watching it a second or even a third time. So keep practicing, everyone, and keep watching.
Thank you so much, Alicia. That's a great point. And maybe while I got you on the screen, would you mind answering the question in the chat that just came up, just about Mary Ann is finding that the bowing is the hardest part, and she's looking for tips if possible.
Yeah, bowing is the hardest part. And it's something that even I, to this day, am still improving on. So it's going to be a lifelong journey, you and your bow. So yeah, some tips. I know I talk a lot about once you have that tune in your head and you know where your fingers are going, you can focus a lot more on the bow. So making sure that you have a good foundation, and if you don't, then just play open strings. Play open strings so you don't have to worry about fingers, where they need to be, where they don't need to be, that kind of thing. Just focus on, spending the first 10 minutes of your practicing, just focusing on that bow work, Try long bow strokes, focusing, staring right at your bow, focusing and making sure that it's straight, making sure that it sounds nice and clean. That's not too wispy, like with a light bow, not too hard and crunchy. So spending that time without the tune, right? Just open strings, the different strings all have different angles that you need to have, right? For your bow. Like the top G string is going to be higher up, and the E string, you're going to feel a little bit like your little chicken wing is kind of really close to your body. Okay. So yeah, just playing around with it and focusing just on the bow, and it will come, but it's not going to come in 6, even 8 weeks. It's going to come like, you got to dedicate lots of time, but it will come. Did that help, Marianne? Okay, perfect. That was a good question.
I think there was another comment about you, Alicia, at the Ottawa Parliament MP swearing in ceremony.
Yes.
Someone seen you there.
Yeah, so that was fun. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I was asked to play for the swearing in ceremony of the Justin Trudeau's Parliament most recently, the end of October, almost a month ago now, I guess it was. But yeah, it came out of nowhere. They were just kind of like, so yeah, we're looking for Indigenous fiddle players or Indigenous artists of all kinds. Are you one of those? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Métis fiddle player. Okay, that's great. Would you be, interested in coming up eventually, in the near future, whatever? They like made it seem like so casual and like, oh, it'll happen like 6 months from now or whatever. Like we might call you up for a gig or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. That's fine. I don't mind going to Ottawa once in a while. And then they literally called me. It was happening on Tuesday it was a Tuesday. And they called me on Friday and they're like, yeah, so we need you Tuesday. I'm like, pardon? What is this? They're like, yeah, you can't tell anybody, but it's for the swearing in ceremony for Parliament. And I was like, pardon? For what? So yeah, it was really unexpected. And yeah, it felt nice to be in that hot seat. I haven't been nervous while playing in a while, but yeah, that one made me a little nervous. But yeah,
Wow, what an honor. Wow.
yeah, I still can't believe it.
That's incredible. Marcus, you have a question?
No, just my baby brother push the.
You push the button on you? Oh, goodness. Baby brothers.
I just wanted to mention, I noticed in the chat, someone kind of mentioned that they need to take a break from playing for a little while just because of some health related issues. And I just want to say, like, if that happens, if you're experiencing any pain as you're playing, you definitely want to take a break. Definitely don't want to play while you're in pain at any point. So thanks for bringing that up. I think it was Noreen. And she mentioned also, I guess, tinnitus, which is a really awful thing to have. I'm sorry you're struggling with that, because that happens to affect the ear. So that would make it really difficult to play the instrument. But yeah, if you're ever experiencing anything, definitely take some time to take care of your body because it's very hard to play and you don't want to associate your musical experience with any pain or anything like that. So if you're feeling any stiffness or anything like that, just take your time and really take care of yourself. I don't know, Alicia, if you've ever encountered any kind of issues, but with playing the violin, it's actually quite typical for people to develop things like carpal tunnel syndrome or like different kind of aches and pains. So definitely take your time and just make sure you're in good health as much as possible.
Thank you for catching that, Kelly. I appreciate that. And
In my videos, I tell people to relax. I don't know if it helps, but I know watching new players, they're always like all tense. I'm like, it's not supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to be tense at all. Like, this is just relax. take 3 seconds, take a couple breaths. Like, don't clench your jaw, don't tighten your fists. Or the instrument should, just be nice and light and fluffy. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't be angry or tense when you're playing, because yeah, that'll affect your bow too. If you're tense while playing, you're gonna get a lot of crunchy, squeaky stuff going on. So if you're getting weird noises, maybe you're clenching every muscle in your body while playing. So take a break, put it down, bring it back up, and start over.
And I think the next time we meet over Zoom will be December 13th. And that is our last meeting before Christmas. So I think if you celebrate Christmas and want to bring a little Christmas cheer to our meeting, dress up in your best Christmas attire, show us what you got, bring your fiddles, and we'll have a lot of fun. And if anything is to come up in the meantime, folks, don't hesitate to contact me, and I can always get you in touch with Alicia or Kelly, or even Deb or Gwen if you have questions for them as well. I'm sure everybody's very open to helping you out, and I won't hold up any more of your time, but like I said, my email is always open and so is my phone, so don't hesitate. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday night, and we will see you before Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.